Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button.
Hey. This is HQ back in the house again. Looking at the mindset and former mindset of people who belong to MAGA, and trying to figure out, what's going on with the whole cult-like thing that we think it is, right? That we think it is. Because it could be just a way of life for them, and the way that they feel is legitimate. For them, it's legitimate, right? But I'm going to go from the perspective of me as a regular fellow person who belongs to a regular group. I'm not religious in that way where I would be mourning that I would be caught up in that type of thing, that I would be beyond the pale. But I understand that breaking is, we consider it a cult. They don't. So I can only come from that perspective, right? Yeah, I know. I see that mass shooting at a church. Wow. So breaking out of the cult, or the MAGA cult, or whatever cult you belong to, because it's not just the MAGA cult, right? That's just not it. It's very, very hard. I get it. Most cults use the psychological control to make members feel dependent, afraid, guilty about leaving, and if it combines religious aspects, which most of them do, the first step often comes when a person experiences what the experts call cognitive dissonance. A moment when something they're taught, something they have been taught, doesn't line up with what they see or they feel or in real life people. But you notice that I can say 3, 4, 5 different things like I did last night, and it will be real, and they won't look it up. They won't go anywhere near trying to find out whether I'm lying or not. They'll just call me a liar. They'll call me a liar. She don't know what she's talking about. They just do not want to go over there and touch that fire, right? For example, our leader might preach love, but act cruelly, like being married to the traditional wife, for example. She might be in a traditional marriage, right? But she might be getting her ass kicked, cussed out. She might, the family or the religious belief or all that might be teaching love, but she might be getting cruelly treated. He might be getting cruelly treated, right? The crack in their belief system plants a seed of doubt when that happens. And over time, more of these contradictions can pile up. All of these contradictions with our president, they keep hitting his bubble. They keep hitting his shield. Remember when they kept saying, "Oh, Donald Trump has this shield around him, and nobody can and they won't get away from him, and MAGA won't get away from him. They won't say anything. They're just going to believe everything he says. That bubble that's around him that won't allow people to think about what he is doing to the country." Okay. So this crack in the belief system plants a seed of doubt with them. And over time, more of these contradictions, hopefully more and more, will pile up until the person starts, this person who used to be a former MAGA or a MAGA person starts to question the group's authority or their purpose. Because we always have to question things that we believe just to get to our truth, the solidity. Are you happy with the belief that you have? Are you happy with believing this person said the truth, talked the truth, did the truth? Are you happy with that? The questioning is usually the first step towards leaving something. If people are not questioning what the president is doing now, there's an issue. When he started deporting people without due process, people should have started questioning these things. When he killed those people on that boat a couple weeks ago, people should have been questioning his leadership. The actual breaking point often happens when the cult's control becomes unbearable, emotionally, mentally, physically. Once you can't get past it, once you can't deny what this person is, once you can't deny what this person does, what this person believes in, and it doesn't line up with what you believe in. The reason why Trump could never get me is because what he believed in was never anything that I believed in. What he believes in never aligned with what I believed in. So I never could be caught up in that cult because I see through the lying and the gaslighting. So the actual breaking point is when it could be a loss of personal freedom, financial exploitation, abuse, or simple exhaustion from constantly manipulating their environment and the things they think. Sometimes it's triggered by an outside event, shooting, killing these people on a boat, reconnecting with an old friend on Facebook. Shoot, my old friend in Facebook is a lesbian, but I'm a trad wife. But my friend, she's a lesbian, but she's a nice person. How does my religion teach that she's evil or she's a monster? When these things start not adding up for these people, when they witness harm to somebody they know, witness harm to other people in a different group, when this happens, the person starts to realize they want their old life, independence, or critical thinking back, even if they're still scared of it. That desire for autonomy is powerful and can become stronger than their fear of being in the group. So this is what we do over here. This is what we do over here. We try to accept people if they want the understanding. So when we fight every day, we argue with people every day. You know, I get called the N-word. She's a bitch. She's a liar. That's fine. Fine with me. Okay. Because I'm trying to help people break out of those things. So leaving a cult requires patience, empathy, understanding, not necessarily derision. It requires confrontation, directly attacking their beliefs or calling the group X, Y, and Z sometimes backfires, but it's the only way we're going to have the conversation. Make them call up. Make them defend their position. I got to make you defend that position. I got to make you defend Donald Trump. I got to make you defend Charlie Kirk. I got to make you defend those people. Okay. So we have two people here that broke out of that bubble. Who broke out of the bubble that we have today? Nick Fuentes and a young lady. This young lady used to be former MAGA. She said, I don't know what was going on with me, but we're going to listen to her right now. Figure out what's going on. Why? What happened?
My grandparents and my huge, big, extended family and all of my neighbors and seminary teachers and everything was to just keep my little brain in Mormonism. And they did that fairly thoroughly. Mormonism isn't just one of these church on Sunday type of religions where then like maybe you're Catholic and you go to church on Sunday, your friends are Lutherans and atheists and whatever. As a Mormon, all of my friends were Mormons. all of my family was Mormon. I was only allowed to date Mormons. I wasn't really allowed to go to friends' birthday parties or slumber parties if they weren't Mormon. I lived in a very isolated little Mormon bubble. Mormonism is why I was Christian nationalist, by the way, because the Book of Mormon teaches that God literally made America as a promised land and that he only brings people to America who are chosen by him, that this land is preserved for his most righteous children, and that we as members of the church were to fight to preserve this nation as not just a Christian nation, but also as a Mormon nation. So Christian nationalism was just a natural outcropping of my religion to the point that my family and my community mixed America with the gospel like they were both the same. I believed that the Constitution had been written by the hand of God, just like the commandments that Moses, the tablets that he had brought down from Mount Sinai. I believe that the Constitution had been scripted by God just exactly like that. And just like Moses and his people had been brought out of Egypt across the Red Sea, I believed that Christopher Columbus had been led across the ocean to the new promised land by the hand of God. My community was obsessed with Boy Scouts of America and Flag Day and the 4th of July. We always had these huge congregational pancake breakfasts on the 4th of July. And there were patriotic songs right in the hymn book, like God Bless America, like the national anthem. They're sacred songs. So all of those things were my absolute reality.
And you see how it's steeped in Americanism, nationalism, the whole nine. She's a typical trad wife. Married, kids, boom, 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 all the way down the line. We believe in this. Not letting her have friends, not letting her be outside the house. She didn't work outside the house. All of these things that keep you in that bubble. Keep you in that bubble. Okay. Some people recognize themselves in that, and some men the same way. Born of this religion, she didn't have any kind of choices in what she did. Let's listen to her. I thought it was fascinating when I started listening to this lady.
Because the Democrats tended to lean more towards women's lib, which was a sin according to Mormon doctrine, because the traditional family is the foundation of everything. So only Satan would want women to go out and work. We believed that divorce had started because women started to work, because the Democrats were fine with killing babies. And Democrats had been the ones who had legalized gay marriage, which I believe was the greatest abomination on the face of the earth. So for those reasons, the Democratic Party to me was literally a group of Satanists. And that stuff might have been my reality forever if my parents had homeschooled me.
You see how that she's all the way in thinking they're teaching that the left is evil. Their left this is abomination. All of it wrapped into religion. All of it wrapped into hating the other group. And they don't understand that they're eating each other from the inside with all of this hate. They're eating each other from the inside because they're in a bubble. If I'm in a bubble, I don't have access to other people, now do I? I don't have access to other people in their life and what they're doing. So if I don't have access to other people in their life and they're doing, I hate that group. I hate that lefty. She's in a cult.
And I was selling oils everywhere I could. I was doing classes on my home, and some of my friends and neighbors would invite other friends and neighbors to my classes. This broadened my community and my network outside of just my Mormon ward. I started meeting people in my own neighborhood that I had never met before and people outside of my neighborhood. And suddenly I started having this whole slew of lesbians who signed up for my MLM. I know a lot of people think that my old life fell apart because of my ex-husband, Jake, but that's actually not why. He had no part. None of that had anything to do with me leaving. It was actually my lesbian friends. doTERRA team, like there they were, and they became personal friends of mine. And for the first time, I saw into the lives and behaviors of the boogeymen, and they were amazing. And then my brain started comparing and doing some critical thinking, and I realized all these lesbians and my essential oil company downline are way nicer and have far better, happier lives than the people that go to church with me on Sunday, people in my family, other people in my community.
Right.
That realization, I will tell you, put my brain into so many mental gymnastics that I could not possibly control. Then we got the computer in our home, and I had never really had a computer before. And
They just got a computer in their home. Let her finish.
I was really late to getting like a smartphone, and I got on Facebook, and that allowed me to see a peek across the world. And what I realized is that some of the hatred and bigotry that was coming from my community towards other people was completely unwarranted. Literally, access to just seeing the world through social media and through the internet. It kind of proved to me that my religious leaders and people in my political party were just liars. But I found ways to quell those fears, and
So she wound herself back up into that life. She found some way to explain why it was goofy, why her contradictions didn't work. But she still was in that life.
keep believing the church and stay part of the community. And I just chalked all of those doubts up to Satan anyway. So I didn't really care much about them, but those little seeds had been planted. And then my abusive marriage got so bad that I was ordered to see a therapist.
So that was one of her cracking points. The traditional wife, the trad wife, that whole philosophy of being married and having kids, and that's your purpose. Once that stopped being ideal, like they try to promote it to be, oh, it's so nice to be at home, it's so nice not to be, to work and blah, blah, blah. Once that started being unbearable, which is what I said in the beginning, something within your life becomes unbearable, then the crack starts. She said, once my marriage became X, Y, and Z. Let's continue.
Let me tell you specifically how that happened. He taught me how to listen to myself. My therapist didn't ever tell me, like, leave your husband or, like, maybe don't go to your church because it seems like it's harming your life. He just made me look inside for the first time, and he taught me that you're not supposed to feel crappy all the time. That's not Satan testing you. That just means that you have a crappy life.
That makes no sense, Lewis. We don't do talking points over here.
He taught me it's okay to feel happy. In
Prove your work.
fact, you should feel happy. So he kind of taught me internalized critical thinking, that if something's going on in your life and you're not feeling good, look around and see if you can figure out why your life is so unhappy. Let me give you one example of that. Mormons are obsessed with family dinners. Like, the family that eats together stays together. And family dinner for us was a big deal because I was a trad wife, so we had all this homemade food. We'd often have our family prayer and scripture study as part of dinner. We wanted everyone together all the time, unless they had sports or a job or something. Our whole entire family sat down for this big family meal every single night
Every
for
single night.
decades. I was the cook, I was the cleanup crew, I was everything. I really had this religious belief in family dinners. It's a big deal. One day, my therapist just throws out to me, he says, it seems like we have a lot of conversations around dinner, you being abused during dinner or immediately after dinner by Jake. And
Abused during dinner or immediately after dinner by her husband.
you exhibiting a lot of stress around mealtime. Yeah, I'm cooking all this homemade food. We have a bunch of kids, and it's like a bad time of day where everybody's just coming home from school and they have homework, and we're transporting to sports practices right after and things.
Absolutely, Tism. Absolutely. Makes you afraid to even join the group. Somebody that's already awoke.
Like that. And also, I was married to a dick. So mealtime wasn't particularly enjoyable. Nothing was enjoyable. The only enjoyable thing was just not being around him. Of note, I still have so much trauma around mealtime that my therapist has had to work through that PTSD. And it's only been about a year that I've been able to sit down face to face with my own partner and my teenagers, and especially other strangers at dinner time, either in my own home or at a restaurant, without having PTSD panic attacks that can potentially end me up in an ambulance and in the hospital because of the abuse that I suffered at mealtime.
So she was getting abused. Her husband was abusing her. During mealtime, most of the times, that's when anxiety would hit. That's when she would be able to stand still, cook the meal, listen to criticism, listen to whatever. I don't think she ever says anything about physically being abused, but she was mentally being abused, and this helped her to seek happiness. And seeking happiness, she decided to deal with a therapist and figure out what the hell was wrong with her marriage. Why was she so unhappy? What was going on? Okay, let's go. Listen.
Do my thing. And it was the first meal in decades that I had eaten that I was actually happy. And I started to learn to look inward and see what made me happy. Therapy did that. Therapy, being taught to look inward, would eventually corrode my belief in the Mormon church, Christian nationalism, white supremacy, Donald Trump, MAGA, and everything else that I stood for. It would completely unravel my entire identity. It wasn't very long after that, maybe 2 years later, that one day I went to my Mormon church like I always did, and I believed in the church. I didn't have any doubts. And I was sitting in the women's group. It's called Relief Society.
Right?
It's the third hour of church, just surrounded by women. And the lesson that day was on the evils of homosexuality. I had fought against gay marriage. I'd always believed that gay people were the worst people in the world.
Right?
But now I had these lesbian friends, and they were the nicest people in the world. And I looked inside and I realized, oh my God, this is making me feel terrible. Like, I don't want to sit here and listen to this for an hour. So 10 minutes in, I left the Mormon church. I was 44 years old. I had been a faithful, believing member from birth. I left the Mormon church and I have never been back. 2 weeks later, I caught my Mormon returned missionary husband of 24 years picking up the very last 19-year-old escort that he would ever cheat on me with.
Look at the shit that happens. She said her husband wasn't the end of her marriage. Her waking up was the end of her marriage. The marriage is just a byproduct. It has nothing to do with her waking herself up. She just caught him cheating. That wasn't a big deal because most women don't leave, right? So that means nothing.
I'll link an article in the description from my Substack where I talk about how I had to stay with him for 3 years after I discovered a double life because I was a trad wife and I couldn't go anywhere. And I was still a trad wife and I had no money of my own. I had no job. I had nothing. But that night, when I discovered everything and this all went down, I looked inside and I asked myself, how is this making you feel? And I remember looking him in the face that one last time and realizing, I actually hate this man. I don't want to be with him. He doesn't deserve to be my husband. And so when I found him in bed that night, I snapped my fingers and woke him up and said, a man who does this to me doesn't ever deserve to sleep in bed beside me again. So you can stay the night. And tomorrow morning, our marriage is over. I'm filing for divorce. Therapy. A week after I left the Mormon church, I went to a Christian church and I became a hardcore Christian for the next 4.5 years. My theory was the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith had just kept me from knowing Jesus and having a relationship with him. And so I threw myself as deeply into Christianity as I had Mormonism. But unfortunately, with therapy and with critical thinking skills, I had started to really analyze the Bible and I had started to pay attention to how I felt when I read it. And I started to realize that as I was reading the scriptures to my children, and not just the Old Testament, but also the New Testament, and basically going to church with my children, that it made me feel like crap. I just didn't like the Bible. It was hateful. It was judgmental. It was misogynistic and racist and really horrifying. And outside of some of the philosophies of Yeshua that are relatively refreshing, the Bible was not something that I wanted to consume anymore.
So she left the Mormonism and then she aligned with Christians. She thought maybe she could go from one side to the other and she could still have her faith and all of that. And she's finding out I can't I cannot do it with the whatever she found, the hatred she found, whatever she found that she didn't like. I don't know. This is what she's saying. She couldn't do it.
Some of the philosophies of Yeshua that are relatively refreshing.
Right.
The Bible was not something that I wanted to consume anymore.
Right.
And church wasn't resonating with me. But here's the straw that broke the camel's back. And this is really important because a lot of people on my channel think that I became atheist because of the Mormon church. Like the Mormon church destroyed my relationship with God. No, the Christian church did that. I was devoutly Christian for
Christian
4.5
church did
years.
that.
And my participation in Christianity and actually reading the Bible multiple times during that era were why I broke up with Jesus. Here's one of the straws that broke the camel's back. In our congregation, we had a deaf interpreter, and she stood at the front of the church. And one day we sat right behind this row of deaf people that were watching her intently during the church service. And afterwards, she sat down next to this group of people. It was a woman and some small children. And I had never met the interpreter before. So I just said hello. So she introduced herself to us and then introduced us to her wife. They were a lesbian couple. And they were also special needs foster parents. So all of the children sitting on the row with them were foster children, some of whom they had adopted. And it was so refreshing to me to see lesbians in church because Mormons don't do that. I asked if she had a Bible study group and invited her to come to our Bible study group. And she said that she would in 2 weeks. So the next week I went to the teacher that I knew was going to be instructing the following week's Bible study. And I just told him after class, I said, hey, I've invited a new couple. They've never been before. And I want to make sure that they feel really welcome. And also they're lesbians. So,
and this is the second or third time that her beliefs are being challenged as a trad wife, a Mormon, former Mormon, not Christian, and now former Christian. This is when her beliefs are starting to get challenged. Right here, I think this is one of the last things that happened to her that made her say, oh, hell no, I can't do it. So listen.
So let's just make sure that we're really kind and embracing because I know that that can be challenging sometimes to feel accepted at church. And this Bible study instructor said, well, if they're lesbians, then I'm probably going to have to really warn them about what God says in the Bible about lesbianism, because it's our duty as Christians to make sure that they are warned. I don't want them to commit sin. This is actually so hard for me to talk about. This moment right here is actually when I left Christianity. I burned my Bible, I think the next week, and I left religion behind forever. This conversation right here. This man, he looked so nice. And I had known him for a while. We'd gone to this church for a few years. And to hear the hateful things coming out of his mouth, and then to see him flip through this book and read all of these scriptures to me was so jarring.
And this is what I say. This is what I say. Some of you call yourselves Christian, yet you hate you hate the gay people, you hate the transformer people, you hate the immigrants, you hate all of these people, and you're supposed to be Christian-like. That's nothing to do with the Bible. This is what she's saying. And she was a devout Mormon and in Christianity. And to hear a minister, I don't know what you guys have in Mormon, hear a priest or whatever, hate on another human being, not Christian-like at all, I call you hypocrites. You Christians are hypocrites. I call you hypocrites because you choose what you want to celebrate. You choose what you want to be religious about. You choose all that. It's an a la carte Christian. That's what I call y'all, a la carte Christians. So she's finding out that her priest or minister or whatever is an a la carte Christian. He hates on gays, lesbians. God says your heart is supposed to be forgiving. She's finding out that ain't how it is for you, most of you Christians. Most of y'all Christians is hateful.
Like, I just wanted to invite the lesbian translator from the church to come to a Bible study group, right? And I'm like, you know that she is officially the sign language translator for the church. he's like, yes, I know that, but that doesn't mean that the church is okay with lesbianism. And as I talked to other pastors and other people in the church, I realized that, yeah, they were fine with her being there to sign on Sundays, but they also believed that she was a sinner and that she was going to hell. And I'm sitting there in that class just thinking of all of these special needs foster kids that they were sheltering and nurturing and providing lives for. And I knew that what this church, what the Bible, what Christians were teaching about homosexuality was just wrong. A few weeks later, members of this Christian congregation would also treat myself and my family and my teenage son in really cruel, horrible ways. And when I stepped away from the group, I had people going out of their way to attack me for stepping away from Christianity. Like literal face-to-face conversations with people that I ran into around town because I live in a relatively small town about how I was literally going to hell and taking my kids with. I started to really pay attention during that time span to
Right.
where I felt peace and where I saw people who were emotional.
Well, what we're listening to, Philosophy, is a trad wife, an ex-trad wife who was a Mormon, who was very devout, who believed in the whole shtick, you know, be a trad wife, deal with the racism, deal with the abuse of her husband, deal with what the Mormon church was teaching. And this is her way of breaking out of that. She started the reality started to hit her, right? The reality of what she believed in started to hit her. They didn't believe in people being human, having their own thought processes, being regular people just like her. And when she found out that there was a lot of there was a lot of stuff against just regular ordinary people who were regular ordinary people, her thought process started to change. It was 3 linchpins that knocked her out of it. She had to go to therapy. She found her husband cheating, and she made friends with a bunch of lesbians she didn't know were lesbians. And once she found out they were lesbians, she was like, oh, these people are just like everybody else. They're just like everybody else. Y'all, excuse me, I catch a cold when the weather changes. They're just like everybody else. I'm hating on these people, and they're normal, everyday people. And this is what bursted her bubble about the hatred that she had or the disgust she had for people that weren't like her. So she's an ex-trad wife sharing how she busted out of this cult bubble of Mormonism, Catholicism, the religious right, all of that.
Healthy, who were kind and supportive and empathetic, who were exhibiting behaviors that reflected the values that I felt were important. And then not long after that, we came into this like pre-campaign era in the presidential race. And I turned on my Fox News like I always had, and I started listening to Donald Trump. And I still got a bunch of MAGA newsletters in my emails and things like that. And I started really reading them because, yeah, the church isn't true. And I wasn't married anymore. And my whole life had turned upside down. And I was no longer Christian. And the Bible, and like, am I going to see my grandma when I die? Like, I was plunged into this nihilistic void and had such a loss of identity. But I was still rooted in the Republican Party, right? Like, we were the good guys. And then I started reading the newsletters and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, this isn't the person that I want to be. This is certainly the person that I used to be, but I can't vote for Donald Trump. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had like that boyfriend that you were in love with or somebody that was like a role model to you, and then it turns out that they're a creep. Like for me in my childhood, Bill Cosby was a really big deal because I grew up with the Huxtables, and when it turned out that he had been such an abuser of women,
Yeah.
that was really hard for me to grapple with, to see that role model fall from grace. That is how I felt about the Republican Party, and especially about Donald Trump. And I think in a lot of ways it was so hard for me because then I had to look at myself and realize, oh my God, I was one of these people until literally like 10 minutes ago.
Dirty money.
And no, I'm not.
Hey,
So who am I?
dirty.
And what do I even
Crazy.
do? In a lot of ways, leaving MAGA, I can't even talk, and leaving the Republican Party was harder than the end of my 24-year marriage and realizing that my ex-husband had this double life and that he was a jerk and that I hadn't even, like, known half of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And then, like, well, now what, am I just gonna be alone for the rest of my life? Because it's really hard to picture a future outside of who you've been and who you've been with. And obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, so stepping away from the Republican Party was terrifying to me because then it's like, but the Democrats, they're like, they're on the wrong side of everything, right? I had always believed that they were the evil people. They were murdering babies. So I was kind of like, maybe I'm just gonna be nothing. I started volunteering for the RFK campaign for a little bit because that was kind of a neutral ground for me. But then, I don't know, he wasn't gonna win and his stuff was just getting wilder and wilder. And so what I did one day was I just sat down with the computer. I had a couple of hours and I started looking at the actual platforms of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. And I realized, first of all, I don't care about parties and I don't care that much about nationalism, patriotism, things like that, because at this point in my life, I'm so
Yeah, but that's the thing. It may be a sin. It may be a sin. You all call it a sin, whatever. But there's people here that are homosexual, and they regular, everyday, ordinary people, and they don't affect your life at all. You've never met one. You've never been affected by one. Yet Christianity has a whole thing about what they are and what they're not, right? She's saying she didn't want to feel like that anymore. I don't know.
concerned about just other humans. That being American or Chinese or Mexican or whatever mean very little to me. I feel like political parties are just a means to an end so that we can have cohesive civilizations with some sort of rules. I always say that I'm an anarchist, and I mean that deeply. If an asteroid hit us tomorrow, only a few of us remained, and we returned to just tribalism, that'd be fine with me. Anyway, as I started to read through what the Democratic Party stood for,
Son of cool, that's exactly how I look at it. None of us are clean. That homosexuality just happened to be another thing that we dirty about. But that don't mean they ain't human. And that don't mean that they don't have feelings. And that doesn't mean they don't deserve an identity on this planet. Just different, that's all. Are you gonna be dirty feeling Mexican? Dude, stand up proudly, Freddie. Come on now. We proud over here of whatever we are. We proud over
I
here.
realized this stuff aligns a lot with me, and I really don't support unfettered capitalism either. It's not just political parties.
Too bad you can't scrub the brown off yourself, Freddie. Too bad you can't scrub the brown off yourself. Unfortunately, you got to love the skin that you're in, because you ain't getting no another one. You ain't getting no another one. Unfortunately, you got to live with what you got. Stand up.
It didn't align with the Republican economically. I don't believe in trickle-down economics. All the data shows that it caused a lot of problems for us. That was really a hard reckoning too because I had a lot of money.
Right.
We had been business owners, and I had been really opposed to any type of social systems. I always thought my husband works really hard for money.
Shut your mouth,
Why does he
Freddie.
have to pay taxes to pay for some loser who's too lazy to go out and get a job? That's on them. But I'm a different person now.
Dirty money.
So the presidential election happens, and I go into a booth and vote for Kamala Harris, a mixed race female Democrat who supports abortion and gay rights. It was so wild. Like, I had this out of body experience. And then the summer, that town hall happened, and I just told Kevin, I just want to go. I want to see what this is all about. I feel like I really align with the Democratic Party. And I love Gabby Giffords. She was actually shot just a couple of miles away from where I'm sitting right now. And that was a tragedy that impacted our entire community. And I went to that town hall, and I have never felt more aligned with a group of people in my entire life.
And so she's still crying. Well, she's crying because when you wake up and your whole identity is related to religion, your family, you lose your family. She lost her family. Her family is devout Mormons, Christians, Republicans. When you lose your family, your whole identity, all your life until you're like 45, you don't know what to do. You're lost. If you're grounded, if you know how to do critical thinking skills and you're thinking on your own and not in a bubble, you can stand on your own. She's standing on her own. She's trying to stand on her own. I'm applauding her that she stands on her own. At least she's thinking for herself. She's trying to do the right thing. She's thinking for herself. I'm not saying what she's thinking is correct. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying you have to get your own belief. Look. To a certain extent, I think homosexuality is kind of weird. To a certain extent, I do. Don't get me wrong. I'm no different from you guys. It's weird. But I also understand that those are other human beings. And I'm a human being. And they have a right to want what they want. I don't want to say any other word. I'm just saying weird. But I want them to have just the same rights as I do. Believe me, if I was crazy, I'd be like, God damn it, them homosexual people, them transformer people, right? But I also understand that they're human beings. Okay, but I can't, and me being a human, me being a person that loves people and all different cultures and people, I have to give them the respect of being, a human being. So I don't call them creatures and all that. I don't do that. I have to respect that they're human beings. I think it's weird too. Stop it. I'm right there. I just believe they have a right to exist wherever they want to exist. Okay. So that's all. I mean, I understand. I get it. I do. Okay. I get it. I do. But I'm trying to understand you. I'm trying to understand the right. I'm trying to understand. Okay. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm a person that's in the middle. I don't want to be the devil to you, to the righties, to MAGA. I don't want to be the devil to you. And I don't want you to be the devil to me. I'm trying to find a common ground here. Work with me on the common ground. I might say some shit that's fucked up, I still can't say that transformer word. It's transformer to me. Okay. I'm old. Give me a minute.
And not because somebody told me that I should be, and that's what I'm supposed to believe in, but adult me, my 51-year-old self, who has critically thought and had therapy and listened to my own inner voice and knows the things that I value. What I found in that town hall that night was a group of other people who value the same things that I value. I know this video is long and full of tears. I just wanted to point out a couple of the challenges that I faced in transitioning my political identity. First of all, I have been raised in a system where there's always charismatic leaders that are extremely strong. And it was really confusing being in this last election and seeing that the Democratic Party is completely unraveling. And
yeah, the Democratic Party is trash. We need a leader. We need a message. I know what I believe in as a Democrat. If y'all already know, if it don't involve the elderly, handicapped, our veterans, and kids, I don't give a fuck about the rest of y'all. Y'all can go fly, you can go drown, you can do whatever. I don't give a fuck. If it ain't related to elderly, the handicapped, old people, our veterans and kids, I don't give a fuck. So you can talk to the wind. I don't care about the gays, the transformers. I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump. As long as it don't have nothing to do with them people. Cause somebody has to I have always said this. Every person that I've talked to, ever since I came on this internet, I have said, these are the things that I care about. And the Democratic Party has those people in their platform. So I care about being on the Democratic side if they care about those things. I never hear those things on the right. That's all I'm saying. I never hear that they're caring about the people, those people on the right. So therefore, I'm not a Republican. That's it. That's all.
Biden was so old that there wasn't a snowball's chance in hell that I wanted to vote for him. I actually considered moving to Canada or Mexico and just taking my kids and my family away. I've carefully researched other nations across the world that might be a better fit for us. But
Right.
I have a grandbaby and I have so many people that I love here. And
she got a grandbaby. Damn. Her son. So her son, her teenage son out there fucking, and she got a grandbaby. Her kid got a grandbaby. Damn. She got a sister, daughter-in-law. What the hell?
I think that the lack of strong leadership has been the greatest challenge for me. By the way, Gavin Newsom, if you're
Right.
watching, please respond to the emails that I've sent you. I've talked to a bunch of other senators since I last said that on my last video. Newsom, I would like to volunteer my services as an influencer and as somebody who has keen insight into the MAGA party and Christian nationalism and Mormonism to you. Should you have
Absolutely. So she's promoting herself. So she got to do what she got to do. She's promoting herself. I ain't mad at her. Mad at her. She want to be, an influencer for that. So her name is, let me see. The name of her channel is Life Take Two. Life Take Two. She's a ex-MAGA person, ex-Donald Trump person. She's an ex. So she's coming out of that, she's coming out of that MAGA bubble. Her name of her channel is Life Take Two. Okay. So it is Dirty Money. You don't like me neither. You came in and said that crazy wild shit. Hello, Chris. Dirty Money. Coco. Freddie. I'm used to hate. So hate. Lewis. Warning. Chris. Tealism Type Pro. Master. Hello, Peekaboo. Son of Cool. Hey. Now we finna get to Nick Fuentes. We finna get to Nick Fuentes again. Why y'all be hating on that boy? Why y'all be hating on that boy? But see, look. You know what? I don't agree with all the shit that Nick Fuentes say. I don't agree. But that motherfucker be coming in hot. He be coming in hot. And he be saying shit that people believe. They just don't say it out loud. Right? They just don't be saying the shit out loud. Right? Yes, he's a racist. I get that. But that don't mean he can't be telling the truth on some shit. Okay. I know they right. They don't never talk about the Canadian border. Shit, when I was a kid, I used to run through that tunnel. I used to drive through that tunnel as a teenager and get to the other side. And didn't nobody ever stop me from coming back and forth from Canada and Detroit. They never used to stop me when I was a teenager. Shoot, hell yeah. So now nobody worries about the damn boat. Well, they speak like us. So how the fuck we gonna know? How the fuck we gonna know if they get some good identity thieves that know how to make some shit up? You can go between Canada and the United States all the time. Shit, all the time. They don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody looking at the Canadian border. Ain't nobody. If you come through that border, damn near ain't nobody looking for you. Specifically, if you got the paperwork and everything else, they talk just like we do. Or you can fake how they talk, right? So anyway, this is our next person, right? Yeah, I know. There's spots in Michigan you walk. I used to do it as a teenager all the time. So this is Nick Fuentes. His take on ERIKA KIRK. ERIKA KIRK. This is what he thinks about ERIKA KIRK and what's been going on with her. So let's take a listen.
Been chilling. I will say, guys, people did not like what I've been saying about ERIKA KIRK. Last night during the Super Chats, was it during the Super Chats? I think it was. somebody asked me about Charlie Kirk's widow, and I was really blunt and straight up with you about it.
Right.
I get a weird feeling. I got a really bad feeling.
I want to preface this. I preface this to say, I was being generous and nice when I spoke about Charlie. I don't have anything bad or ill will to say about him. I never saw him in him debate. I've never seen any of those things. But when I saw that wife, the honest to God truth is, she comes across just like Megyn Kelly to me, Candace Owens to me. They come across as very unauthentic. The wife comes across as very unauthentic. I understand that she has to do what she has to do, but I would never get next to her because I don't believe her. I don't know why. And I've always had that feeling. I said I believe her. I sympathize with her for being a wife, being a widow. I sympathize, but something about her is inauthentic to me. I don't know why. And Nick is expressing what I'm saying. I didn't know how to express it because I didn't want people to say, well, damn, she being a hater. No, Nick is expressing exactly how it comes across. He's not being real harsh because y'all like to cancel folks. Y'all like to cancel folks when people say something different than what y'all believe. But no, something is off. So let Nick tell it. Nick will speak somewhat for me.
From her. It's just a vibe. But I don't like what I've been seeing from the organization ever since Charlie was murdered. And last night, somebody asked me about ERIKA, the widow, in the super chats. And last night I said, I'm getting this vibe from her that she's very fake. The 2 speeches she's given, the public appearances, I said, I really don't like how the whole organization has been handling his death. It's gratuitous. And don't get me wrong, if they want to say that they're carrying on his legacy or they're doing things the way he would want them to be done, or they're continuing to fight the good fight, I get all that. But it's a little gratuitous. Am I the only one that feels that way? It's just like excessive. They are beating that dead horse. They are milking this for everything it's worth. It started right out of the gate, and they have just been pushing it every single day. Within 3 days after he died, she's given a speech. She's the CEO. They're sending fundraising texts about it right out of the gate. Then they do this memorial. And once again, I get it. If that's the turning point way, by all means. And they want to honor his life, by all means. But they're doing the Super Bowl commentators with the headsets on, doing a media table. They're selling merch, registering voters. They got pyrotechnics. Is this WrestleMania or is this a funeral? Like, what are we doing here? And
that's how I felt. This is how I felt when she did that first speech, right after that, or the day of, or the day after she did that first speech about her husband. I was like, what's going on? Why are you out here speaking like this? In this vengeful tone, almost. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it on when that day she did that one thing by herself. I was like, But I can't bash a widow. You can't bash a widow because y'all like to cancel people. So I was like, something is off. I can't figure it out. But Nick is trying to express it, and I'm listening.
the day after the funeral, I'm getting 500 texts and emails. ERIKA KIRK here. I miss him. Every time I blink, every beat of my heart. Make sure to donate $5, $15, $25. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to donate, he says. Kind of true that well, like be continue to think about it, share your.
I said, I'm getting like a fake vibe. I'm not, something's off there. And people say, well, everybody grieves differently. Yeah, I don't know how much mileage we can get out of that one anymore. Something's not right there.
Right.
Very bizarre, weird vibe there. And did you see the show? ERIKA hosted the Charlie Kirk show this afternoon, and she's like, she looks like she's over the moon. She's happy as a clam. And again, who am I to judge? Everybody grieves differently. She's a very devout Christian. Some people say maybe that's just strength, that's resolve. I don't know. It's one thing if your husband dies, period.
Right.
It's another thing if your husband dies at age 31, unexpectedly. It's another thing if your 31-year-old husband unexpectedly dies because he gets publicly executed with blood gushing out in front of thousands of people screaming and running away. That's like something that's altogether different.
Right.
And I think they were pushing it when she filmed his dead body. I think they were pushing it when she took control of the organization 72 hours later. I think they were pushing it with the fireworks and the WWE Batista entrance when she gave the eulogy at his funeral.
WWE Batista also be.
She's hosting the show, and she's saying, we have so much business. We have so much business. You can't believe it. We have unreleased content, and we're so excited about what Turning Point's going to do next.
Right.
It's like, lady, didn't your husband just get his face blown off like 2 seconds ago? And not to be insensitive about it, but everyone's thinking it. No one wants to be the asshole. No one wants to say it. Everyone's thinking it. Everyone was thinking it when she gave the first speech. Everyone was definitely thinking it at the memorial.
Right.
Nobody wants to say it because it's inappropriate. It's insensitive. I am the troll, right? So I'll be the one to say it. I think it's super inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's weird. It's bizarre. Something is off there.
This is right here. This dude, you know what? He's a racist. I get all of that. Despite the fact that he's Mexican, which is really fucked up, right? But, and against immigration. But this motherfucker don't be lying. This motherfucker don't be lying. You can't dispute the shit that he be saying sometimes. You might not like what he say, but he be saying the same shit that I said. You know, I'm not gonna argue with the motherfucker about my existence because he doesn't respect my existence. But I respect the thought process that came out of his. See, I don't like him or I had nothing to do with it, but he be rocking y'all MAGA folks because he be telling the truth about that shit. This is how a lot of us felt. That funeral was bogus as hell. Hi, Hadley, Rainbow, Satan, what? Felix? Y'all wild with these names, I swear. Y'all wild.
And I don't like it. And I think even from a strategic point of view, they should reel that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Even just maybe she's grieving differently. Hey, by all means, or not. Either way, even just out of self-interested reasons, I think they ought to reel it in a little bit because they're really pushing it.
Yeah,
they had everybody going for a week or two, and the way that they are just...
Felix, yes, he is Mexican. He said he's Mexican. He says he's Mexican. We see, y'all be reading. Y'all, come on. Felix, come on. He said he was Mexican. Why would I say he's Mexican if he's not? Come on.
Milking it now. I think it's starting to turn people off.
And I agree with Nick on this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree too, right? It's starting to be goofy.
He was starting
to be weird.
Let's say partisan for the GOP.
He was partisan for the GOP. Listen to this part. Listen to the way he describes this. He's Hispanic. He says he's Mexican, Felix. He said he was Mexican. He said the words Mexican.
Fundraising machine, activist machine, friendly to all the donors, a coalition builder. Is that what we're calling it now? Like, that's what he was. Very good. He didn't deserve to die. And this.
Felix, did you hear me say anybody else that was Mexican? Did I mention anybody else on this platform? I introduced the ex-MAGA trad wife, and I introduced Nick Fuentes. You didn't hear me call nobody else Mexican. I know that there's all different Hispanics. I know that. My granddaughter is Hispanic. Mexican, to be exact. I know the difference. He said he's Mexican. Wow.
This endeared everybody to him and to Turning Point and to the GOP in some sense. But the way that they're cynically milking it now, how gratuitous and shameless it is. Once again, you want to do something, that's fine, but they are really just, it's shameless at this point. It is gratuitous. It is excessive. For their own sake, they better reel that in. And I'll be the first one to say, and I'm going to ask a basic question, another question everybody else.
A basic question. Some of us who actually was thinking about this, a basic question.
Else is asking. This is a 30-something-year-old woman. What happened to being a traditional wife now? Now we got a girl boss running Turning Point. Am I the only one that sees the contradiction here? It's what Charlie would have wanted. Now a 30-some-year-old woman is going to be running the organization. That's not very biblical. That's not very traditional.
Nope.
I mean, that's true, but also
if you in the trad wife organization, yeah. So how do you square that? We don't know. Hello L, government, high speed. Me and you, high speed. We don't like each other, but it's okay. Come on in. No, you don't like me. That's okay. That's okay. I take the hate. I gotta take the hate.
And I think it's very cynical the way that she's being pushed into the center. And I said it last night, the reason they're doing that is because it's like atrocity propaganda.
Right.
Who can ever criticize a grieving widow?
Right.
She's a victim, you know?
And that's why nobody is being upfront and honest about how they feel about the funeral, how they feel about how fake she came across, how weird she came across. Okay. I just thought it was me, and I was a hater. Like, I can't get out there and be no hater like that. Hey, Nick came out there and he was a hater first. Hey, ass, government, Joey. So I'm just following his lead. He's expressed, like Charlie expressed the things that you all were thinking. Nick is expressing the things that I'm thinking. So is he not telling the truth? Was Charlie telling the truth? He's saying some bullshit. Most of y'all don't like it, but that don't mean nothing. See, I'm throwing it back on y'all. Hello, Martin. Hey.
She's a victim of a horrible tragedy. And so that makes her beyond criticism. So they're pushing her in the middle of this. And I see people saying she should run for president now. And I think that's very sneaky. And I think it's kind of evil, actually.
Right.
The way that they seem to be leveraging the tragedy to create this political breakout moment.
Right.
That's what that feels like to me. This feels like it was either scripted, it's in the script, or they're taking advantage of the situation and they're making like a calculated political breakout moment for her. And say,
you can be on the wrong side of a lot of things and say some right things. You can see some right things. Not everything I say is right. Not everything he says is right. Not everything Charlie said was right. He ain't no saint. The way y'all making Charlie seems, Charlie wasn't no saint. Charlie told lies. Charlie manipulated people. Charlie did all of these things. Okay. So we don't know. So we can't say. I'm saying Nick is expressing the things that people say. Hey, Sal, how you doing? Rob, hey, guys, listen to Nick.
And she's going to run for office or she's going to now lead Turning Point, and you can't say boo about it because she's the victim of a horrible tragedy.
Right.
Well, you know, I'm not like other people. This is politics. I said it last night. Nobody would have anything to say about it if you were grieving with your 2 fatherless children at home, but you thrust yourself into the center of it after 3 days. That's a whole different story.
What the hell can we say? Y'all hit the like button, hit the hate button, hit the like button, hit something. I need at least 10 more likes, 10, 15 more likes. Y'all over here, everybody is multiple posting, hit the like button. Hit the sub button. Hit all of those good things. It would be amazing if somebody could hit the super chat button, but I ain't here to make money. I'm here to spread the truth. I'm here to spread the facts. So that's it. I appreciate y'all. Let's listen to Nick. Nick finds it very, very disturbing that they're pushing this wife. And I got to agree with him. Hey, I might not like the man, but I got to agree with him. Your nuts are rotting. What? Snatchy, what? Sonny, Greg, Ass, hello. Welcome in. Hit the like button and the sub button, please and thank you. Water bottle. What?
And I don't like sneaky shit like that. I don't like when people take advantage of emotions. I don't like when political people take advantage of sentiment. I think it's very cynical. I think it's very calculated. I think it's devious.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they know what they're doing there.
Right.
And they know you can't touch that because it's atrocity. Whenever there's an atrocity, we have to turn our brains off and pretend we're not thinking what we're thinking. And I don't like that. I think that's sneaky. So again, she wanted to go and be with her family, her family that must be shaken and destroyed with the loss of its patriarch. That would be one thing. Why don't you take care of your kids? I know it's not my position to say that, but why don't you go and be with your kids now? Your kids don't have a father. The family's reeling. She wanted to give a speech, then the memorial. Now she's hosting the show. She's going on Alex Clark. Talking about unreleased content. The show goes on. Didn't Charlie have 1 million lieutenants that can do this? Aren't there 1 million people that could line up to succeed him? Look at that Brylan Hollyhand. The way that guy is salivating at the opportunity, it's just gross. You see?
So my whole thing is this: why everybody? This stuff is unseemly. Her getting on these podcasts, talking out here in the front. She should be at home grieving. But it's like they're taking the opportunity to exploit this woman, or she's exploiting it, or she's doing something. It makes you wonder. Is she grieving as much as she says she is? Makes you wonder. I don't know. Hello, Sonny, Julian, Osmos, Kyle. Hey, listen to Nick.
This guy, and there's 100 of them. There's 100, wannabe college Republican presidents. It is their dream to be the next Charlie Kirk. They are lining up to pick up the bloodstained microphone and take his place. Aren't there 2,000 people that could do that? Take care of your kids.
I mean, it sounds rude, but Nick has a point here. Like, I
agree. Most people step back, take accountability, take stock of what's going on. But she out there. She out there talking. All that. That's what we're asking, Q'd. That's what we're asking. Grieving for what? She act like she don't want to grieve. I don't know. Let me stop. I'm going to let Nick say it.
Now we're going to get a girl boss, an untouchable girl boss that nobody can say anything about. I'll be the asshole and say it. Everyone's thinking that on some level. And the only people, and I'm going to say this is the last thing, and then we'll move on and get into the news. The only people that don't like to hear this, hate to say it this way, but it's suckers. It's women who are very emotional, women who are very empathetic and compassionate, and God bless women for that. I know a lot of women saw that speech and they were crying and they were emotional. And so women are buying this, and a lot of like sucker men. I saw a lot of people, that's really insensitive. How could you say that? Hey man, grow up. This is politics.
Yes.
You know, and it's really interesting how many red-pilled people, this is what they do.
Right.
This is what political creatures do. They exploit endlessly emotions, fear, anger, sadness, piety. They exploit every sentiment that you feel based on the sensational images that we are shown, our visceral reaction to them. Are the politicians are masterful at exploiting that for their own end.
Right.
And that is what we're witnessing. Just like when you see a school shooting, just like when you see a terrorist attack, just like when you see a high-profile crime, George Floyd, this is no different. In a certain sense, this is no different. And all those range of emotions that you felt, anger, fear, sadness, retribution, forgiveness, longing for communion, they're exploiting that too. They're exploiting that with the big speech, perfect makeup, costume. I forgive him. Oh, she should be president now. I'm not that really pisses me off.
We can see that.
Yes.
You know, you want to be
that's the thing. He can be very perceptive. It's like he can see right into what they think. But then he's a white boy, so he can see the manipulation. He can see those things. But a lot of people act like they don't see those things. Okay? Like you don't see what he's doing, like what they're doing. It's like people don't see what they're doing. Okay? She can run for president all she wants. She not going to win. Just like Hillary ain't going to win. She ain't going to win. Y'all know y'all don't, that's a female. There's still men who will not vote for no female. No.
the widow.
She's too young to run. I think you got to be 35 or 45, something like that.
And be the widow. You want to play girl boss? Whole different story. Whole different story.
Yeah, but she will be old enough to run when it's time to run. Yeah, she will be. Oh, well, yeah. Well,
I don't like when people mix those things. I don't like when people mix these things. It's like, who is that kid at Parkland or whatever? David Hogg.
Yeah.
David Hogg, his school got shot up. Now he's going to be a Democrat politician. I'm sorry. Seriously? I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And I think it's cynical, and I think people are afraid to say it because of the, you know, all the sentiment on the timeline.
Right.
But I don't like it one bit. And yeah, I'm willing to be the asshole. I know people won't like it, but I think you're a sucker if you're buying into this right now. It's the most cynical, exploitative political move I've ever seen. And you know what? When they say it's what he would have wanted, they're damn right about that, because that's who these people are.
Whoa! Nick throwing bombs over there on y'all side. He throwing bombs over there on the right-hand side. Yeah, I just realized that St. Charles, she will be 34 when she can declare. 35 when she can declare. Yeah. Hey, TF. Yeah, he throwing bombs over there on the right-hand side. He said that's what y'all are. In order to exploit, in order to win, to gather power any way they can, they would run that woman, knowing that woman, and then they would be running that woman if she became president. She wouldn't have a say. They'd be running everything behind her, making her sign everything like they making Donald Trump sign everything. Executive orders, getting shit put. That's wild. But Nick is saying it.
Turning Point, that's what they are. How do you think you build an organization that makes $140 million a year?
How, Nick?
That's what they do. They're experts in making money, collecting checks, collecting cash, telling people what they want to hear.
Yes.
That's what Turning Point was, a very corrupt organization 2 weeks ago, and it still is.
Whoa. Corrupt organization, really? Woo. Nick dropping bombs. We finna hear from Candace in a minute.
Turning Point was taking money from Zionist donors, Wall Street donors, Silicon Valley donors, Meta, all this kind of stuff. They are taking checks, taking cash.
Wow.
Like nobody's business.
Wow.
Bernard Marcus, Foster Freeze, you name it. And after this guy went down, it's almost like, they saw dollar signs from that. And that's pretty gross. I say that as somebody that, obviously I didn't really like the whole operation, and the operation's going to do what it does best. The way these people are exploiting this, it's just sort of sick. But anyway.
And you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, you can say
about
whatever
Nick,
you want.
Of course, but
you can say whatever you want, but that dude is perceptive. Sometimes this dude is perceptive. He comes out with the his truth, and usually it's a part of some things that we thinking. That's wild. He thinks it's corrupt. Well, we finna hear from Candace, because Candace seemed to jump her ass out there into the fire all the time too. So we gonna listen to what the hell Candace got to say. Candace thought something was going on at the organization, but then again, she think a French wife, diplomat's wife or president's wife is a man. So we don't even know. Yeah, she's 36, St. Charles, so she is able to run. They might even propel her into that. Okay. Nick might be what Nick is, but Nick is very perceptive sometimes. I got to give him his props on that. He might not be right on a lot of other things, but this right here, he's spot on with some shit. So I'm just going to listen to what my tingy senses is telling me, that told me before Nick talked, that this is some fake shit. Yeah, she finna run that bag up for real, for real. Let's get her in there. Let's listen. Here's Candace.
All right, you guys. So a week before Charlie lost his life, he expressed...
This is the first time I'm ever playing a Candace Owens video. I really can't stand her voice. Her eyes are too... I just can't stand her. But I'm going to listen to what she got to say today.
Expressed some concerns about the finances at Turning Point USA. In fact, he wanted to put together an entire department, a little mini department, to address those concerns. And we have evidence of that. It is always the advice when investigating any crime to, quote unquote, follow the money. So let's do that just a little bit here.
She said Charlie thought there was criminal activity going on in Turning Point USA. I thought he was the leader. I thought that he was I thought he ran the operations. So he wasn't doing the day-to-day operation. So there was something going on in the organization. That's what Candace is saying. And that's what Nick is saying. Nick Fuentes is saying. What the hell is going on over there? So that wife ain't as nice as so the wife might not be all sweetness and light. Is that what's going on? I don't know whether he told her or not. I'm just listening to what she got to say. I don't know whether it's truth or not. Usually she be lying out at both sides of her mouth. But, I'm listening to her today. What the hell is going on? I'm listening as she go on.
Plus, there is a video that has gone absolutely viral. I am sure you have seen it. It was emailed to me many times, where there is a theory that is being floated that Charlie was shot from the back. Now, there are two aspects in that video that we can debunk, and I want to do that. And there's one aspect that we cannot debunk clearly. I think this is a worldwide investigation, so I want to assist wherever it is that I can. So welcome back.
Whoa. Like, wait a minute, hold up. Did she just say that she think it's a conspiracy, that this didn't really happen? What? See, I don't know her. I only seen clippings of her. I don't know. I know she spills a lot of conspiracy things. She tries to get be the first person to say shit. I don't know. We're listening to her right now. Is there a video out there saying that Charlie didn't really get shot from the front? That he was shot from the back? Is that the truth? Hi, Mike. Hey, Rainbow. Is that the truth? I don't know. I'm asking. Y'all the ones be on the internet. I don't know. I don't be on the internet like that. Let's see what she got to say.
To Candace. There's a lot of leaking going on right now, and I've been very clear that everything in my soul has been screaming at me from the very moment that I found out that Charlie got shot. That this story is much bigger, that there just was something much bigger going on than what has thus far been presented to the public. You know, all of the wrong people are eulogizing him. They're lying about small things, which I don't like, because why lie about small things? Only a guilty conscience of sorts lies about little things.
Ain't that right, Silent? They tripping. They tripping.
And there are a few points that we have covered throughout the story that right away jumped out at me as odd. First and foremost, of course, Bibi Netanyahu over-inserting himself, not even just on day one, minute one. He tweeted before the president of the United States that Charlie had lost his life. That's weird. It's very weird, and we should not forget how weird that is, especially because when he went on multiple hits doing Fox News and Greta Van Sustern's show, he lied about the contents of a letter that Charlie Kirk had written him back in May. What I also don't like are the people like Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon, people that I know who are very nasty and work behind the scenes. I don't like that they have not yet been honest or forthcoming about the pressure that they and others were putting on Charlie Kirk. That just
Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that video where they were doing the hand signs and all that kind of crazy stuff? What's going on with that? Hey, Eric, Silent. What's going on with that, Chandra? I don't know. I wasn't even fooling with it. Once he was done, once he got shot, I was done with the whole thing. So now they saying there was something else that was going on. Financial things going on. He was shot from the back and not the front and blah, blah, blah. See, y'all be wild out here for real. Y'all hit the like button, please, and thank you. You come in, hit the like button. You wipe your feet on my rug. The least you can do is hit the like or the hate button. Hit the like or the hate. Do one or the other. But the content is here. We going over these theories. We looking at these things. Okay? So please and thank you. I appreciate y'all. See, I'm being nice. I ain't even being rude. I ain't being no bitch. Why you can't give me no like button? Real? Can't give me no like. Share, subscribe, more content. We do content like that. We talk to these people. We talk to the other side. I talk to the other side. I talk to the righties. I talk to the lefties. I criticize the lefties. The lefties is trash right now. I criticize all of them. I'm just asking for a like. Hit the like, hit the hate, do whatever, but do one or the other. I need about 10 more likes out there. Please and thank you.
just strikes me as odd. There's no reason to lie. No reason to pretend that you weren't doing that, to try to massage it and lie about it. I believe that there are
I ain't telling you what to do, Jeremy.
lies by omission, and I view them both to be liars. Okay. And of course, who could forget the word length of Bill Ackman's reply? I tell you guys about this weekend in the Hamptons. I tell you.
See, y'all got to tell me about this Candace. For real. I've only seen clips of X, Y, and Z, and I never really paid attention. So I'm like, okay, wasn't she friends with Charlie? You know, maybe she got some insight. Here's my thing. I didn't see her at that funeral, though. I didn't see her up there at that funeral, though. Why didn't I see her up there? If she was such good friends with Charlie, wasn't she there? Why wasn't she there?
Tell you about Bibi Netanyahu calling Charlie Kirk and inviting him to Israel. And Bill Ackman replies with an essay, college essay, 959 words to be precise, was his response to me speaking about that, where he himself did not actually address my point about the quote unquote intervention, which is how Charlie described it himself, and my point about Bibi Netanyahu and the offer to take Turning Point to the next level financially. No one wants to address those points because I was being honest. People thought that Charlie's ideas were trending in the wrong direction. And by the way, regarding that now infamous weekend, the response videos that were made, which seemed like there was some sort of a PR crisis going on, the response tweets that were fashioned.
Otherwise, you lead by emotions and your judgment is clouded. I don't have any kind of thought process about Candace at all. You know, I don't know her. Tyrell, hello. I don't know nothing about this lady. They had a love-hate relationship for real? Wow. Wait a minute. I heard that somewhere, but is it true? Oh, no.
They were sort of getting
She'll do anything for a click. Oh, okay. She that type person. Okay.
funny.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. They both trash. Chandra, they both trash. Right now, they both trash. That's the way I look at it.
Xavier DeRusso was there. I had reached out to him. He had, rather than answering me, messaged me to say, I am speaking out about that weekend. He made a video where he formally addressed the weekend and explained that, yes, Charlie, and he uses the phrase moral blackmail. Charlie spoke about feeling morally blackmailed, but this was done in more of a workshop setting, essentially like it was a debate club, and they were strengthening their debates on the topic of Israel. We can take a listen to Xavier.
Hey, we're going to have a conversation about this Gaza and this Ukraine and this Israel. We're going to have a conversation this week about some of those things. So that's coming up with the content. You know, I'm going to start announcing some of the content on the community page. Some of the content that'll be coming up this week. I'm going to put the subjects that I'm going to talk about on the community page during the week, at the beginning of the week, probably going to be today. And then you tune in, if you want to talk about that subject, call about that subject, or anything else. This is a part of, that's what we're doing on this program. Okay. You can call in and talk about it.
Russo in his own words.
And then people are taking things out of context because there was in the article, the hit piece that came out, it talks about how Charlie raised up his phone and had written on Twitter, and he said something like, BB needs to resign or something like that. And he goes, what would happen if I do this? There was discourse, and then there was one woman who sat in the back who said, if you do that, you're indirectly going to empower Hamas. And then
I would have worn if I would have been invited to the funeral, Charles, I would have wore a horse dress.
Charlie was like, see, you have to stop saying like that. He was saying that when you are debating about Israel, you need to stop doing it emotionally. You need to do it logically and factually. Otherwise, you lose the debate. He said it is moral blackmail if you say that somebody saying that a politician is bad, that you're then empowering a terrorist organization. Fair argument.
It was a fair argument, but it also was a real argument. And you kind of removed the names that were involved in this conversation. Natasha Hausdorff was there. Seth Dillon was there. And Seth Dillon was the one that was applying pressure to him. And Seth Dillon and Josh Hammer didn't jump on him in that moment. We're not happy. They were not happy with Charlie at the end of this weekend.
Maybe these are things that people on the right understand. Yeah. I forgot. I'm a remember. I always forget. Excuse me. I catch a cold when the weather changes. So excuse me, y'all.
In the Hamptons, because again, they saw which way the wind was traveling in terms of his positions on Bibi Netanyahu and Israel.
I'm
and
never,
they were, in fact, being accusatory. And again, you don't have to take it in my words or Xavier's words. I've always had a friendly relationship with Xavier, but we should listen to Charlie's own words, which we have played multiple times, of what happened the day after this little weekend retreat, where he vented to Megyn Kelly his frustrations with him being wrongly labeled anti-Semitic and how it was actually pushing him away and it wasn't good for Israel. Then, and that one of the big questions that we discovered, or that we asked, and something that we had discovered, was that this weekend was kept hush hush, which is extraordinarily unusual.
We're going to see whether they're going to keep ERIKA KIRK. Okay, we're going to see if they're going to keep her. They trying to push her into doing X, Y, and Z. Hey, Ryan, Sarah. They're going to keep her into Sarah. Yeah. They're going to try to keep her in that position because they're going to exploit it as much as they can. They're going to try to exploit it, this young lady. Let's hope she don't allow it, but she's allowing it as of now. She's allowing it as of now.
For a turning point event. If you're going to fly your influencers out, you want them to influence, obviously. And Xavier offered this explanation for why they didn't post about the weekend until they were rumbled about the weekend. Take a listen.
And then you have the people who are trying to go and say that, oh, then why was the meeting so secretive? The photos were already on my Instagram. The reason we didn't post that in the real time was because of safety. Do you know how many people would have loved to come and slaughter that whole hotel?
Feeling like Justin Bieber because it's not clocking for me. Like, I'm sorry. So first off, you guys never connected to Turning
Who said she don't know who Jasmine Crockett is?
Point USA publicly. Photos that you posted, if you posted it after the event,
yeah, right.
I don't think that it's because you were fearful that just being a conservative in the Hamptons was going to get you slaughtered. Like, were there Hamas tunnels under the Hamptons? That doesn't make sense. That makes entirely no sense, and we should call out how little sense that makes, especially because one of the influencers did post on August 6th that she was in the Hamptons. Actually, Emily loves America. Emily saves America, pardon me, said when she was fighting with somebody about how little their engagement ring was during this weekend, how do you guys expect to have a house, land, and multiple kids? Be for real. Sorry, I'm MIA. I'm in the Hamptons. So are conservatives not allowed to be in the Hamptons without getting slaughtered? Or is it specifically conservative influencers? You said that it wasn't a pro-Israel event, so I guess there's no Israel angle here, which does, of course, there's tons of Zionists in the Hamptons, Bill Ackman among them. So I don't understand. You couldn't post that you were in the Hamptons because you were going to get killed. How? I need more information there because that's just silly. And I also love the context of him doing this on PragerU's platform. I obviously worked for PragerU. I know Marissa Straight. I am looking at Marissa Straight right there, a little PR operation to address the points without actually addressing the points and to make it seem like it was nothing. And that's not the reality. You know, Marissa has always been open about the fact that she worked for the IDF intelligence. And like I said, you could sense there was a PR panic when people started speaking about the weekend. I told you guys the truth.
I'm sorry. I'm saying Candace always has something to talk about. She just be in the weeds all the goddamn time. Don't make sense to me. Let's see what the fallout is. I heard you. Let's see what the fallout is with Charlie and the wife. That's weird that the wife is taking over like that. It's weird. Okay? Let's hope they get it together, steer the ship correct. No, Jonah Claw, personal ad. We're not a cult. We don't have a leader that we're following around and don't believe that they're doing anything wrong. The right has a cult leader. The Orange Thug is their cult leader. We don't have a cult leader. First, you got to think about these things critically. Start thinking. Don't be just talking. Start thinking. So we finna do Fox News. Why? Because this is what we mean when we say your president is going after people that he doesn't like. And this is not how a president acts. It's a startup. Shut up, y'all.
Major breaking news tonight. Former FBI Director James Comey, or as he likes to describe himself, Mr. Higher Honor, has been indicted by a federal grand jury in Virginia. Comey is now facing 2 charges: obstruction of a congressional proceeding and lying to Congress. If he is convicted, he will face 5 years in prison on each count. President Trump writing on Truth Social tonight, quote, "Justice in America. Comey has been so bad for our country and is now at the beginning of being held responsible for his crimes against our nation." As I myself told James Comey right here on this show a long time ago, he has the right to remain silent. We'll remind him again. Take a look. By the way, the last thing we need are lectures from Jim Comey. And by the way, Jim, just a reminder, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I think we're in better shape tonight. Anyway, I predict that tonight is only the tip of the iceberg. Pay very close attention as we go through this all throughout the show tonight.
I don't think they have any merit to this. That's the problem with this president. This president has a thin skin. This president is petty. He has no presidential decorum whatsoever. Sooner or later, he's going to go to jail. If this president survives this presidential run, this administration, he will definitely go to jail. So we can only hope. Because this is one of the most corrupt presidents that we have ran across. And him indicting Comey is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Just the tip of the iceberg. Because he tried to get Kimmel fired. It's all kinds of retribution. Nobody goes after the person that went after you. You did something illegal and I tried to prosecute you. Now you want to come back around and try to get me for something? No, John, please read. If you don't do nothing else, you got to learn to read. The reports have already come out. 3-4 different reports from 3-4 independent places that says most of the violence is coming from right extremism, not left extremism. Stop it. Nobody's believing that talking point except goofies that don't read, goofies that don't know how to research. Nobody's believing that except goofies who don't know how to research. Okay? So you have to learn how to research. Comey did nothing wrong. That's crazy. But over here, we don't do talking points. Over here, we don't do Republican talking points. We don't do left talking points. What we do is we fact check. If I tell you something, I expect you to get on the Google, the chat, the Grok, the GPT. I expect you to get on there and start doing research. I don't expect you to believe me. I expect you to do research. If I tell you that this president is coming across as a fascist, I expect you to present an argument that says he's not a fascist. Don't call me a liar. Don't call me a nigger. Don't call me any of those things. Just dispute what I'm saying. That's all. Just dispute what I'm saying. I respect the person that's going to fight with me and fight on an even, legitimate. Don't be disingenuous. Don't tell me shit about Biden. I don't give a fuck about Biden. I don't give a fuck about Kamala. I give a fuck about the president that is the president today, which is Donald J. Trump. You want to have arguments? You want to fight? Let's fight. But don't come to me about, well, Biden did it. Kamala did. No. This is how we fight over here. You don't listen to talking points from me. I'm not giving you talking points. And I don't expect you to put talking points in the chat. I expect you to fight constructively. Give me the argument and then we'll talk about it. Hold on.
This is going to have a cascading effect. The same James Comey that protected Hillary Clinton and looked the other way when her team, we'd never heard of BleachBit, using BleachBit to clean their servers and acid wash them,
I ain't
basically.
yelling. I'm talking normal.
They were full of top secret classified information. Remember, he said no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute. Remember, there were phones that were smashed with hammers and SIM cards removed from phones as well. Oh, and Joe Biden, of course, had top secret classified information. He didn't get raided. Hillary didn't get raided. No reasonable prosecutor would prosecute. Only go after Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago and go into Melania's closet. Tonight, well, they are not getting away with covering their tracks like she did.
Well, it's not a matter of covering the tracks. It's a matter of them. You just go through the process. Like Comey said, let's go through the process. We're going to go through the process and we're going to find out. I just don't. The whole point is don't waste the taxpayers' money. Don't waste the taxpayers' money regarding any of these things. Okay? You just don't do that. So I've been a Democrat. Sorry, you're being misled. You have DTS. Okay, I was Democrat. Yes, of course we're Democrat. What changed your mind? See, here's the thing. This is what I hear from a lot of former Democrats. I hear them say, "Oh, you Democrats started liking those Transformers. Oh, you Democrats started liking those homosexuals. You Democrats started liking those immigrants from taking our jobs. That's why I ain't no Democrat no more." Because I know what you would say. Because you don't have a logical argument for what you're saying. If hate is what made you change your mind from that platform, if hate made you do it, then you don't have anything to stand on. It's not a logic that you're standing on. You just want to be mean. I don't believe in the Transformers either. I don't believe in homosexual things either. I don't believe in those things either. But I do believe in helping the elderly, helping the handicapped, helping our veterans, helping poor people, poor kids. I do believe in those things. And those things are on the Democratic platform. I don't give a fuck about none of the rest of y'all. Y'all can take care of yourself. Okay? John, you don't even know what a woke ideology is. That's the problem. You're spitting talking points. Get out of that bubble. Stop spitting talking points and talk like you got some sense. If you don't like gays, you don't like Transformers, you don't like immigrants, then just say that. That doesn't make me woke because that doesn't bother me. That doesn't make me woke. Okay? I hear that all the time. Don't do that. We want to have a conversation over here. Republicans and Democrats. There's gay people in both communities. I don't understand. Okay? I'm a professional liar. I am a professional liar. Yeah, I am that. I am that. So is Donald Trump. So is the Republican Party right now. So is they. But who's going to do the most damage? Me or the Republican Party these days? I'm always trying to have a conversation. Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute, hold up. I forgot. Here we go. Hold up. Here we go. I'm sorry. Here we go. This is what we doing. Here we go. I just opened up the phone lines. Come up here and state your case. What am I lying about? Here's the phone lines right here. The phone lines is open. There's the phone number there. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I got the wrong phone number. Hold on. Here's the phone number. Call the phone. Prove me wrong. Present your case. I'm a liar. You present your case. This is what I would like to hear. Okay? Here's the phone line right here on the thing. Defend your party. Nobody said nothing about chains. I don't even know what you're talking about, John. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm saying state your case and answer the phone and call the phone. We'll have a conversation. I ain't gonna cuss you out. I ain't gonna hang up on you unless you call me the N-word, unless you call me something wild. I'm respectful. You said to me that I'm a liar. So I want to know, what did I lie about? Because I always open up the phone lines for whoever want to call in and state your case. What we were talking about today was we had a trad wife come up. She was a traditional wife. She said it's a process of her getting out of that relationship. You want to talk about that? Fine. You want to come up here and call Candace a coon? You want to come up here and call Candace whatever you want to call it? Come on up. Make a phone call. There go the phone number on the thing. You want to come up here and say Nick Fuentes is a liar or Nick Fuentes is telling the truth? Come on up. You want to come up and call me a liar? Say I lied about something? Come on up. I'm more than willing to listen to people who want to come up and who have a difference of opinion. I believe difference of opinion is what makes this country as interesting as it is. I'm willing to listen to whatever you have to say. John said I was a liar. I just want to know what I'm lying about. If I'm lying, and you know what? I'm one of those people that will admit that I lied. No, I'm one of those people that will admit that I don't know the truth. If you come up here and say, she said something, I said something wrong, come on up. I'm not angry with you. Come on up and prove me wrong and say what I said was wrong. Prove what I said is not the truth. I ain't mad at you. Hey, but if you can't dispute what I'm saying, or you have something, or I said something that was contradictory, no, I don't want to listen. Of course I want to listen. You said I was a liar. Of course I want to know. Okay, John, you don't have to come up. Just say it right there in the chat. Okay? Just say it right there in the chat. What did I lie about? And then I'll address it right here. That's all you got to say is what I lied about. That's all. I'm more than willing to listen to it. No, I'm not gonna beat him up. I mean, y'all might beat him up in the comments, but I ain't gonna beat him up. I'm interested. Now you got me curious. What the hell did I lie about? I ain't lied about shit. I ain't said shit. Ain't said shit. Ain't did shit. Not one damn thing. Nothing about this today was my opinion. The young lady who came up here who was brave enough to say, I used to belong to MAGA, that the right is the cause of this political climate. John, that's not what I said. What I said was there have been several governmental agencies, independent agencies that have presented evidence, have presented surveys, have presented reports that said 19 of the last 30 shootings have come from the right wing. 19 of the last 30. 6 of those have come from the left. And the rest have been random shooting. That's what I said, John. Now, go prove me wrong. Don't call me a liar. Go prove me wrong. I had the report. I read the reports. I don't have to lie about that. Go with Jesus Christ. Why I gotta tell y'all to go fact check? Don't come and have a conversation if you ain't gonna fact check. It's easily Googleable. Right. It's easy to Google. It's easy to fact check. I'm saying this shit and it's easy to fact check. But yet I don't know what I'm talking. 4 reports, John, 4 reports came out that said the shooting has been mostly on the right. Right, white, male radicals. Where am I lying about that? So I'm not lying about that. I'm not making that shit up. If you've Googled it and it did not say that, and you know something else, present your evidence. Just present your evidence. Don't call me a liar. Present the evidence that says it's been mostly on the left side. Present your evidence. I'm more than willing to look at the evidence. I didn't say that there was no violence from the left. I said the bulk of the violence comes from the right. That is what the reports have said. And here go Neil. Hi, Neil, Timothy, Grande. And here comes Neil, who walks in the door and straight up says something goofy. The left are the terrorists. Really? When most of the extreme shooting and the school shootings and all of that has come from the right side, but the left are the terrorists. See, we can't have no honest conversation. This is a panel, this is a channel where we have the honest conversations. We don't have rhetoric, we don't have talking points. I just told you that the reports that have come out regarding violence, including one at the White House, including the report that the White House did that said for the last 20 or 30 years, most of the violence has come from white male, right-hand side male, right-leaning people. And yet you call me a liar and you don't have any proof that I'm not lying. Hey, Sarah, Convergence, rhetoric that's anti-Christ, anti-American is Democrat. Rhetoric that is anti-Christ, anti-America. How are we all Americans just like you, John? The right don't have no right. The right don't claim no loyalty over there. Y'all don't have no loyalty to the America neither. You don't have just as much. No, you don't have more loyalty to America than the people on the left. You just don't. You don't. Because your president damn sure don't have no loyalty to y'all, but y'all loyal to fault to that man. And I'm more Christian than you too. Of course, I'm aware of the fringe left. Hassan is the fringe left. Destiny is the fringe left. I'm aware of the fringe left, John. I'm in the middle. I'm in the left middle. I'm aware of my people. I'm aware of how goofy my people can be. Are you aware of how goofy your people can be? Are you aware of the Laura Loomers out there? Are you aware of the Marjorie Taylor Greens out there? Are you aware of those goofy people? Those are your people. Okay? I'm just saying, if you believe I'm lying, hit the link. Hit the goddamn link. Wait a minute, hold up. Here we go. I forgot. I'm derelict in my duty. Here we go. Here y'all go. Here's the link. Here's the link right there. Anyone, Jeffrey, that makes no sense because I'm not fringe left. I'm regular left. I'm middle left. Okay. There you go, Renee. Thank you, Renee. Trump just erased the data to report political violence because it comes so much from the right. Right. They just erased the report. Okay. Everybody needs to calm down. You right. Then the only people welcoming you is the right. I cooked left. I don't know. We just got look. Hey, I just sent the link. I ain't gonna put you on camera. You can't be on camera. The only person gonna be on camera is me. You can come up and say whatever suits your fancy. Long as you don't call me the N-word. I don't give a shit. Long as you don't say the little hat people. Long as you don't say the Yahtzee. You can come up and say whatever you want to. I was derelict in my duty. Excuse me. I meant to drop the link, but I didn't, but I meant to. Please and thank you. You're welcome to come up. Please hit the like button, the hate button, the share button. Subscribe for more content. I am a center-left person. I am one of the most reasonable people that are on this platform who will actually have a conversation. Little hat people are the ooish people. The ooish people. We call them little hat people. So we don't say that, So definitely. What about the people, the two, that senator or that whoever that is? Right, that's the end of it. The Democrats need to get right. John. Oh yeah, this is it. This is what I wanted to ask y'all. All of the righties, please put in the comments, please put in the chat what the big beautiful bill did for you. Please put that in the chat because I want to go over that with you all. Please put it in the chat what the big beautiful bill did for you. Don't give me the bullshit about no taxes because that's bullshit. Don't give me the bullshit about that. Put into the chat what the big beautiful bill, and I want you to label it BBB. What did the big beautiful bill do for you righties? This is what I need you to, because I need to be convinced. Convince me that bill is doing me good. I want you to convince me that big beautiful bill is doing me good. That's all I want to know. I want to know, all you righties, put it in the chat what that big beautiful bill did for you. That's all I want to know. Okay. A gunman opened fire inside a Mormon church in Michigan during that's what Ty was talking about. Sunday, services being apparently setting the building ablaze, killing at least one. Wait a minute. Inside a Mormon church. Bullshit. Is black men walking out on their family? Is that a conservative? Bullshit. Black men are walking out on their families. Is that that ain't nobody's fault. That's that man's fault. That's that individual man's fault. The grammar, the left never change. What about what question are you asking me, Neil? What question are we talking about? Okay, this is what he said. He said, my daughter received a $1,000 check, the equivalent of a 401k in the big beautiful bill. Why did she receive that $1,000 check? Why? Why didn't nobody else? I want my $1,000. If they giving out $1,000, I want my $1,000. How she get it? Find out how she got it and let us know. Because I ain't heard of nobody getting no $1,000 from this doggone big beautiful bill. I didn't know they were passing money out. When they start passing money out, Daniel? Okay. No, devil dog. No, Republican Party ain't never defeated the Democratic slave mentality. Never. The reason why y'all won, the reason why Donald Trump won is because our Democrats didn't feel the need to vote for Kamala. A lot of us didn't like the candidate. A lot of us didn't come out. A lot of us felt defeated, didn't know what to do, didn't want to vote for Kamala. This is why your president won. Had nothing to do with the fact that anybody liked your president. We and people on your side are saying why we fucked up, how we fucked up, how they fucked up in voting for him. So no, we're not, there's no waking up of the left-hand side saying, oh Lord, yeah, we love Trump. No, that's not happening on the left-hand side. The left-hand side and some of you righties, no, it wasn't the black men who put him in office. It was white males who put him in office. White males under the age of 35. It was you motherfuckers who put Trump in the office. White males under the age of 35. White women voted the same way that they've always voted. Black women voted the same way that they always voted. Hispanic men voted the way they always vote. So did the Hispanic women. It was the white males under the certain age that their demographic changed. I think their support went from like, I don't know, 40% to 60%. And people in the Republican Party didn't come and vote. Yes, that's how Charlie Kirk put Trump in office. He talked to goofy white males on campuses. They came on podcasts and talked to other white males who convinced them to vote. And black men, young black men, got the same goofy message as the young white men. So we had some white men, black men voting for him too. Y'all don't even watch the trends. I watch the trends. He's talking about $1,000 check if you have a baby. Oh, if you have a baby. She got $1,000 check because she had a baby? That's a lie. I know that's a lie right off the bat. I know that's a lie right off the bat. Yes, black men helped. They helped. It was the young men under the age of 35. All of them, those demographics, those are the ones that primarily changed their votes. The rest of us stayed the same. And a lot of us didn't come out to vote. That's why Donald Trump got into office. Okay? It wasn't a matter of us Democrats waking up saying, oh, we just want to vote for Donald Trump. No, that's not it. Now you're calling white males under 25 motherfuckers? Really? Patrick, really? That's what you heard? You heard me calling white males under 25 motherfuckers? Really? That's wild. That's wild. So my whole point is, we know what the demographics change. So and y'all had the immigrants and the Hispanics. Now y'all ain't got them. Now the right don't have the most of them. Most of them know where they bread. They know where their bread is buttered. They know now. Y'all gonna be fucked up. You're gonna be fucked up. No, it's not a matter of white males being racist. No, it's not a matter of being racist. Charlie Kirk and the people on the right-hand side appealed to that masculine thing. If you all have been listening to the men of this generation, they're saying they're trying to make us toxic. We're toxic masculinity. They're trying to put men back in the place. They trying to do men dirty. They trying to do us men dirty. If you really been listening, that is the message that's being put out there. Okay. Hi, Hercelino, hi. Double Dog, hi. I know you don't like me, but you cool as hell. I love that name and that picture. Sarah, Chef Chevy. Black males, not men. Oh, okay. Okay. Endo. Hey, Endo. I ain't calling no. That's just the way I talk, Patrick. Stop it. I call men and women motherfuckers. It has nothing to do with that. Ira Day, Shelly77. Y'all like, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the hate button, whatever floats your boat. Yes, 20 million votes vanished from the previous. Yes, because a lot of people didn't come out because they couldn't stand Kamala. Damn, how do you say that fucking name? Kamala. I think it's said by Kamala. I couldn't figure that shit out either. They didn't like her, so they didn't come out and vote. So they sat at home. They voted third party. And we had an uptick in white male votes, men votes, period, but mostly white male votes. Okay. And Charlie contributed to that, going on campuses, talking on video, saying things that most white males must have wanted to say, but he said it. Okay. No, more than likely it'll be the left that wins the midterm elections because that's how it normally goes. The opposite party usually wins. The opposite party usually wins the midterms, and there's more incentive with the Hispanics and with the foreigner and the Asians and the blacks and some whites who are waking up to definitely stop this agenda. So, no, 9 times out of 10, more than likely, it's going to be a Democratic election on this. Because you can, if you want to know the direction, look at these special elections that be happening. Okay. I said hi. What do you mean? I said hi to everybody who came in the door. Jeffrey, Chef, I said hi to everybody. I'm not, if I missed your name, I apologize for missing your name. Really, 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 really. Normally I will. This is a neutral. I am a left center person, but I'm open to all kinds of thought. Tell me what you think. I opened up the phone lines. Tell me what you think. I ain't finna scream at you. I ain't finna call you the devil. Don't call me a nigger. Don't do all of that crazy shit, that wild shit. Don't do none of that. I'm just saying this is a neutral channel where people can come over here and call people whatever they have. Just don't get buck wild with it, okay? So this is where we have conversations. I will play Nick Fuentes. I will play right hand stuff, right side stuff. I'll play left side stuff, okay? So I'm saying I'm not just going to do what I want to do, okay? But you'll call me a motherfucker. Get real. Of course, I'll call you a motherfucker. Motherfucker. Jeffrey, motherfucker. Right? Motherfucker? That offends you? Really? Then I can't, there's nothing I can say. I appreciate you coming over. If you feel personally offended because I called you a motherfucker. But I call everybody a motherfucker. If you've been over here long enough, I call everybody I call Biden a motherfucker. I call Kamala a motherfucker. I call Obama I call Trump. I call anybody that I feel like calling a motherfucker. Don't matter to me. Right now, I don't have a party that I can associate with. The left is trash. The left is trash. They don't have no leadership. They don't have no word. They don't have no message. All of that. But I don't like the rights and where they're taking us, okay? That's it. So I'm in the middle right now. I am a person that want to be in a party, but I don't have a party, okay? That's all. So I'm willing to hear the first person that tells me about the elderly, the handicapped, the veterans, poor children, the first person that appeals to me that will take care of or say they're going to take care of those four people, that's who I'm going to vote for. The first person that says that. And I haven't seen that on the right-hand side. So no, I'm not stuck in any kind of ideology. I don't think the right are crazy. I don't think the left are crazy. Okay? I just think I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I care about them four things. That's it. You have to find something that you care about, not stuff that you hate. You can't keep hating everything. You can't keep hating gays. You can't keep hating transformers. You can't keep hating immigrants. You got to be for something. What are you for? I'm for elderly, handicapped, disabled, poor people, our veterans. Those are the things I'm for. I don't give a fuck about no gay people. I don't give a fuck about no transformers. I don't give a fuck about no Trump. I don't give a fuck about no right side or no left side. I care about these things that I just said. That's it. That's it. I want to care about something. I don't want to hate. I don't give a fuck about you gay people. Just leave me the fuck alone. Do your thing over there. I care about poor, handicapped, veterans, blah, blah, blah. That's it. And whatever candidate that speaks to that, that's where I'm at. So, right people, you're welcome here. I'm not crashing out. I never crash out. Why do y'all think I'm crashing out when I'm passionate? I'm just passionate. So the right is welcome. The left is welcome. Everybody welcome. Come on over. Like, share, subscribe, hate, whatever floats your boat. Okay? Jeffrey, for the last time, I didn't call you a motherfucker. Initially, I didn't call you a motherfucker. You just took offense because I said it with somebody you liked. That's all. That's all. I give respect where respect is due. You took offense to something I said. You took offense to something I said. You had no reason to take offense to what I said because it had nothing to do with you. Okay? So it is what it is. I appreciate y'all. Nobody want to hit the link? Okay, fine, and thank you. I will be back later. I got something to do later. I got to go out. I got to eat. I got to do what I got to do. I appreciate you coming. Hit the hate button, Jeffrey. Hit the hate button. You hate it so much. Hit the hate button. But I'm going to still be back here. Later on. I'm going to do some Kevin Samuels later on. Kevin Samuels. Something positive. All this negative shit going on. I hate negative shit. I'll see y'all later. Maybe around 6 or 7. We'll do some Kevin Samuels. We'll roast some females. Maybe we'll have a dating show. I don't know what the hell I'd be doing at that 6 o'clock, but I'd be doing something. And if I offended anybody, I don't give a damn because I'm going to offend you tomorrow.